In Utah, there's a place where reality feels unstable. They call it the Skinwalker Ranch, but locals say that name is just the surface of something much older and far more dangerous. For centuries, the Uintah tribes spoke of a cursed land in the Uintah Basin, a place where things don't behave like they should, animals acting strangely, lights in the sky that don't move like aircraft, and something worse, something that changes shape. The first documented modern reports began in the 1990s. A ranching family moved onto the property expecting quiet land and open skies. Instead, they found disturbances almost immediately. Cattle were found dead in ways that didn't make sense. No tracks around them, no clear cause of attack. At night, strange glowing shapes appeared in the fields, not floating like drones, not flying like birds, just moving with intent. Then came the silence, the kind of silence that feels engineered, as if everything nearby is listening but refusing to make a sound. And then the ranch began to react. Doors opened on their own, radio signals failed, time felt inconsistent in certain areas of the land, and sometimes something would appear, a shape standing at the edge of the property, too large, too still, and always just outside clear view, watching, not entering, just observing the boundary, like it knew exactly where it was allowed to exist. That's when the family understood something terrifying. This wasn't just a haunting place, it was a controlled one. Something here didn't just live in the ranch, it interacted with it. By the time the investigators and researchers began studying Skinwalker Ranch, the pattern became impossible to ignore. The land didn't behave like normal terrain, it reacted. At night, motion sensors triggered with no visible source. Cameras recorded flashes of light moving across fields in impossible angles, too fast for drones, too structured for natural phenomena. Then came the cattle incidents. Entire herds found dead overnight. But what made it disturbing wasn't just death, it was precision. No blood trails leading away, no predator marks consistent with known animals, no scavenger activity afterward. It was as if something had simply stopped life in place. Researchers placed surveillance equipment across the property, and that's when things escalated further. Radio signals began breaking at specific locations. GPS devices gave inconsistent coordinates within the same field. Even compasses would spin without direction. Then observers reported something worse. Shapes, large, shifting silhouettes appearing at the edge of infrared cameras, sometimes humanoid, sometimes quadruped, sometimes neither, just forms that seemed to decide what they were depending on who was watching. On night, a security team stationed near the North Ridge reported movement near the tree line. They decided glowing orbs hovering above the ground, not floating randomly, but moving in formation, as if guided. As they approached with footlights and floodlights, the orbs vanished instantly, and in their place was silence so complete that even insects stopped reacting. Then came the final observation of that phase, a massive shadow crossing open ground at impossible speed. No sound, no footprint, no race, only a camera glitch showing one frame of something enormous bending reality around it. And that's when the researchers stopped asking, what is living here? And started asking something worse. What is controlling this place? As investigations continued into Skinwalker Ranch, the mystery only deepened. The most disturbing realization wasn't what was seen, it was what couldn't be explained away. Different research teams over different years reported the same categories of events. Sudden electromagnetic failures in isolated zones, objects appearing and disappearing in recorded footage, animal behavior shifting instantly without warning, and repeated sightings of non-consistent entities. But the ranch never gave a stable answer. It behaved like a system, not a location, a controlled environment reacting to observation itself. Some researchers began to suspect something far more unusual, that Skinwalker Ranch might not be haunted in the traditional sense, but interactive, as if something there responds to attention, to measurement, to awareness. Even government-linked studies and private research groups reportedly approached the site with advanced monitoring systems, but results remained inconsistent. The deeper they looked, the less stable reality became. At certain points on the property, time discrepancies were even reported, small but measurable inconsistencies in synchronized devices. And then came the theory that changed everything. What if the ranch is not being visited by something, but is itself a thin boundary, a place where layers of reality overlap, where something can step in without fully belonging here? Locals in Utah say it differently. They don't use scientific language, they just say, don't stay too long on the ranch. Because if someone notices you noticing it, you're no longer just observing, you're part of the interaction. And once that happens, you're inside the system too, watching, being watched by something that never fully reveals itself.